Oh, hello, how are you? Welcome to the Move Back with Lou Fernandez, aka King Lou, aka Lou Reeds. I'm here in my car. Surprise, surprise. It's Tuesday, 5:30. Been in the car for about half an hour already. I actually passed out a little afternoon nap. Exciting times, sitting in the car. You might think it might be hard to fall asleep in your car when you're sitting in the car not doing anything, but I find the opposite to be true. So how's everybody out there today? If you didn't know, today is my birthday. They say it's your birthday. My birthday too, yeah, to quote the Beatles and 16 Candles. Yeah, so I'm in the car. It's 5:31. It's raining. Yesterday it was snowing. Today it is raining. Not too hard, but you can see if we turn the camera here that it's a little on the rainy side out there in other car land. That's what I call the outside world. Not inside my car, outside car land. But you get the idea. It's great outside. Not terrible. It's not like it's really pouring. It's just sort of drizzly. We had little celebratory cupcakes at work. Hey, Dustin. Dustin was there. He had some cupcakes. Had a cupcake. I don't know if he had multiple. But, now that there's less people in the office, it's easier to get a cupcake. You don't have to worry about certain people hogging them all. It's pretty decent. So yes, some nice cupcakes at work. Lots of the people who I was encouraged to take them home. Dustin is complaining that I took the cupcakes home. I was encouraged by Beth to take them home. There were extra because one of my coworkers was there with his kids and he left early, so he didn't get cupcakes. His cupcake loss is my cupcake gain. We just have to wait for the next birthday, I guess, Dustin. Some more cupcakes, I'm sure, are coming. I did request cupcakes. If you want someone else to have cupcakes, you can make that suggestion to them. I had my choice of ice cream cake or donuts. Nothing healthy. That wouldn't even have occurred to me. But, it looks like Mark Spurtle has joined. I'm not sure where he is these days. Somewhere, being a pilot somewhere. Or maybe not, maybe relaxing. But, anyway, we did have cupcakes. I'm trying not to focus on Dustin's negative opinion of my taking the birthday cupcakes home. I'm going to let it throw me. I'm going to stay true to myself. Look at that. You're in Las Vegas, Mark Spurtle, the pilot, my friend. Dustin and I will be there next week for the National Association of Broadcasters convention. No, I will not let it hurt me, Dustin. No. But we're going to go there for, are you having a good time in Vegas, Mark? Are you just there for 24 hours for like a flight turnover thing? Or are you there because you have a gambling problem you have never revealed to us before? I get gambling addiction, the sweet desire to win money that you don't deserve, but I hate losing money so much that even doing it just a little bit makes me unhappy. And even if I win just a little money, which is what normally happens, like I'll sit down and win like $40 at blackjack and be like, gotta get out before it's bad, before this addiction settles in, so I don't get to save a lot of the money. Oh, Mark, you're saying you're a gambling enthusiast, not just an enthusiast of some vague thing. So, what is the type of gambling that you like to do, Mark? Is it you like to was it cockfights or just the traditional card things? Like, are your bets based on maybe a sportsman performing or underperforming to his best abilities, or perhaps some sort of animal that you know has been tampered with? Do you cheat? Are you a cheater? Yeah, the gambling is too complicated for me. As far as like the sports gambling with all its overs and unders and all the different things, I don't want to know about it. I don't know if I would have won, but I would have won at the NCAA championships last night. I don't know, because I didn't gamble. Yeah, there's like, what's the other? There's like the games that are like have some skill, and then there are games that have no skill, and like, you know, Keno or slot machines. But you know, blackjack, where you have the house. Where's the games that have where the house has the least advantage? Like blackjack and craps, where you can have some modicum of advantage if you're paying attention and know the odds. I did, as I probably mentioned before, one time when driving down to Peoria to visit our friend Nate, who was living down there with his wife, my friend Mike Gregoire and I drove down, and he had me read out loud a book about gambling. So I learned just enough to get myself in trouble gambling at blackjack and craps tables. Yeah, I just don't, like when you play blackjack with somebody, with a dealer, as we witnessed last year, and I'm sure I've mentioned before, I watched someone win a ton of money. There's a sort of a knowledgeable guy at the table who kept being like, bet that, split that, double that, bet the odds. And, they made I watched some coworkers of mine make some decent money, and then they did a switch out with the dealer, and the dealer went from being sort of a very friendly African-American woman who would be kind of like, stick with this one, don't bet any more money, or you should do this, to a very ice-cold Asian lady who took back every single penny that everyone at the table won. Like, in a matter of like 6 or 7 hands of blackjack, everyone went back to either zero money or losing money. Zero money won, I should say. But, yeah. Wait, what does it say? What are you saying? Oh, what's that, Sonny? It is my birthday. You're gonna go lose to the house on the craps table? They're gonna lose your own actual house. Lose to the house, lose to your own actual house. I don't recommend actually carrying the deed to your house with you when you gamble. I mean, certainly we've all seen the wild, wild westerns where someone will be like, say, lucky hand, this here's the deed to my gold mine everyone knows is worth something, plap. And then, that's not how Vegas is spelled, Thurston, but yes, Learboy is in Vegas. Yeah, betting against the house is what gambling is, because that's what Vegas is, the house or the casino you're in. But yeah, you should probably not bet property you own on a hand of cards. I remember going to we were watching some show where it was like a guy's job to sort of intervene when someone is like really on a losing streak and keeps doubling down to try to get back to zero, or like, no loss, maybe in the win column. And they were like at the roulette table, which is of course an amazing way to lose money. And this guy had lost like $30,000, and he was asking for like a line of credit for like another 10. And they were like, "Why don't you take a break?" And he was like, "No, I'm not taking a break. I'm going to win all my fucking money back." And they were like, they have to go out to the boss, the pit boss, for permission. Where they're going to shut him down, because this guy's a high roller. And then, sure enough, like he actually went on a little streak and like got back to being in the black, as they say, which I believe means that you've made money. I'm forgetting now. Yes. So he like suddenly reversed tens of thousands of dollars of losses. And I was just like, that's not me. Because famously, my story is that Mike, the guy who I went down with, made me give him my last quarter because I refused to put it in the slot machine. And then he put it in the same slot machine I had been playing for about 10 minutes and lost $20 to, and he won like $75 just on that one pull of the one-armed bandit. And then last year at Vegas, I sat down at the Willy Wonka machine, which our friend Sinful Enigma makes, and I won like $50, and I had no clue what was going on. Like, there were a lot of Oompa Loompas. There's a lot of chocolate. There was like an Augustus Glump clip. There was like, "You're turning violet, Violet," kind of moments. But I was just like, oh, I guess I won $50. I'm going to leave because I don't want to lose this money now. Because if you sit there at that machine, that's what's going to happen. I think I even had like free spins. I had no clue what was going on. It's mesmerizing. But for some reason, it feels like you're going to make more money than the ones that are like just a bunch of reels. The old, double diamond or triple diamond, whatever those machines were called. Those loop wing wheels. Sometimes you can win. But just the idea that there's like, you could have 16 lines of things you could possibly bet on, and somehow you still lose or win something real shitty. And, I've watched plenty of the Twitch online casino people, because after Vegas I was sort of intrigued with it, and I would watch a lot of people playing online slot machines in Europe because it's illegal to do here. And you just watch people just sit there all day rocking those spins over and over and over and over again. And it's hard to imagine that they could possibly win any money. And then there's always the fear that they're actually just shills hired to play the casino games online so you can see how much money they can win. It's very disappointing. You know what sucks? I'll tell you what sucks. And this is that it's almost impossible these days to find a good app. All right, thanks. See you later, Dustin. It's hard to find a good app that lets you simulate gambling that's not actually trying to make you gamble or make you play with other people. Like, I used to have a great Texas Hold'em app for my old iPod, like back when they first had the ability to play video, but they were still in the old iPod format. I had a Texas Hold'em game that I bought on there. The app store was very small for games then, and you could just play it. But now, if you want to find a game that has an offline poker mode or whatever, it's difficult to do, because almost all of the online poker apps and whatnot are all trying to really get you to spend real money to gamble in whatever secret ways that they do that. And who remembers when the internet was not new, but like more wild than it is now, and you had all kinds of casino sites online. That and then I think it was President Bush, like really went on a ridiculous sort of vendetta against them, and like they arrested the guy who was like the head CEO of 888.com casino and whatever. But yeah, I don't know who. Yeah, it was like during the Bush administration, one of the many things where you're like, why are you focusing on this? Why not fix the fucking country instead of going after some penny ante bullshit? Like, remember, like, in the middle of all this, like, super hate on Bush, he made a pitch where he was, like, all about, like, we've got to stop Americans going over to Thailand for sex trafficking and sex tourism. And I was just like, really? This is what you want to talk about? Like, not the fact that the economy is going in the shitter? It wasn't even an attempt to wag the dog. It was just, like, a bad policy approach. But, not that I'm pro-sex trafficking, but what if I want to go on a sex tourism thing? And now Bush is like, can't? This is why people become libertarians, because they want to be able to go on sex tourism where they have sex with underage people in places like Thailand. I'm pretty sure that's why. But yeah, so there were at one point a lot of games. I forget where I went. I was going. You could, like, I remember taking, like, maybe the New York shuttle or something. The shuttle from New York to Boston, and there were a bunch of these magazines you could take, you know, for free. And there used to be a ton of magazines that were all about the different casinos, online casinos and stuff like that. And then the Justice Department decided to crack down and make gambling illegal. And then I don't know which states allow it now. I know New Jersey does, but you're not supposed to be able to access it because it's like super hard IP range locked. So you'd have to use a VPN to say that you're actually in New Jersey to gamble illegally on the MGM site or whatever. There's a few of them that sort of encourage gambling. But yeah, I mean, you see the ads here in New York, and then it'll be like only New Jersey. And that's another weird thing where, like, somehow Chris Christie was okay with that deviant behavior, but not okay with medical marijuana or, like, you know, other things that are potentially less harmful than gambling addiction. But he was okay with that. Oh, and Billy is watching. Hello, Billy. How are you? I hope that you are not parking. I think, did you say you found a parking spot? Do you have, like, a garage you go to now or something like that? I don't recall. Thank you for the birthday wishes. Oh, look at that. There's a news blip just happened that there was a shooting at YouTube headquarters. So, looking forward to hearing about that news when I go home. Soon enough. No spoilers. But anyway, not that I'm like a super pro. Oh, you have no car. That's good for you. I appreciate that. You used to have a car. We used to not have a car until Jody started working at the Queens Museum, and then we did get a car. Zipcar. I've had weird experiences with Zipcar. The last Zipcar I got was right on the way to buy our last car, the Honda Accord, in Bay Ridge, and I rented it because I needed to get out there, and I rented it from the spot right next to the Garden of Eden or whatever it is on Montague. You had to, like, get it from the basement, and it had a donut, like the emergency tire for the front wheel on the driver's side, and there was no rubber on the brake pedal. So when you stepped on the brake, there was just a metal cylinder that, you know, that normally there would be a brake pad on, and your foot would just slide off it. So you had to, like, really consciously apply pressure to the pedal without too much direct force, because if you did, your foot would just go. But if you had to sort of move your foot over to the brake pad and then like slowly push it down, it made for quite an interesting drive out to Bay Ridge. One might say it was terrifying. I also didn't pay for that ride because I complained to Zipcar and they refunded my money. And then when I canceled my Zipcar account, I had to write a long letter about why I was doing it. But this is back when Zipcar was very new. And I got some sort of a deal through working at Columbia. That's the thing I miss is working at Columbia, was they used to have vendor fair, and because I was an employee, you could go, and there was like all kinds of different computer companies and supply companies, and there would be companies like Zipcar that would give you like a crazy discount for being a Columbia employee. We got all kinds of weird discounts there, including discounts at like B&H and J&R Music Store, no longer around. But all kinds of stuff. It was kind of an interesting place to be. As long as you like getting paid educational wages, which can sometimes be stagnant and lower than everyone else is getting, but the benefits are nice. Plus, all those co-eds, hubba, talk about sex tourism. I don't know. Let's do that out there. Yes, it's J&R, RIP. Pour out a 40 for your all your deceased giant companies. J&R Music World. I want to say Sam Goody. Coconuts. Other music companies that probably don't exist anymore. Coconuts may exist. I don't remember seeing a Coconuts for quite a while. The Wiz, Crazy Eddie, Circuit City. So many. You get a little bit of Bone Thugs and Harmony coming out of me right now. See you at the crossroads, my friend. Say goodbye. It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday. Especially if you still have like gift cards to those places. Although I saw today that Bed Bath & Beyond is going to honor Toys R Us gift cards, which is one of those things I don't understand. I guess I understand it's a good way to get former Toys R Us gift card holders in the door. But I don't know how that would work. Now my news blip is saying a woman is dead from a self-inflicted gun wound. So it was a lady shooter? What? That goes against all the current shooting indicators that you would get. Normally, a woman is not the shooter. But YouTube hires crazy people of all variety, I guess. And that's why they... she shot it. Too soon, I know. Too soon. But it's important to keep the string of shootings going so that we can never stop talking about gun control, what we're going to do about it, and then be disappointed that nothing is happening. Clearly, there is no solution, so why bother? What was I going to say? As we talked about this morning, I was out in California for a friend's birthday party. It was a super star-studded, crazy birthday. It was very interesting. It's when I discovered that the woman who played Deadpool's girlfriend was also on Firefly. I did not know that. I just knew that they were both attractive ladies. And she was there at the party, and I was like, oh man, look at that lady. Ooh, she's pretty. Which is why I'm not allowed around celebrities most of the time. But it was fun. I had a good time. California, the driving is the driving, and it's like an omnipresent thing that people can not talk about. But it's nice. And if you live in certain areas, everything's only like half an hour away, even with the crazy traffic. But Yeah, the traffic is like a nonstop thing. It doesn't make any sense. You wonder why. Oh, there goes the mail truck. Toot toot. But yeah, I mean, I guess, is there an equivalent in New York that people only talk about? Train delays, or, I mean, driving in New York sucks. But somehow it's not the omnipresent suck that all of California driving is. It does have, there are definitely parts of driving in the city that super, super stink. The LIE, the BQE around the Kosciuszko Bridge, West Side Highway sometimes, especially around like Thanksgiving, Christmas. But somehow it still all pales. Oh, Billy, who was commenting, who used to live in my building, was saying that his Facebook feed is all MTA complaints. Now, the MTA does do itself no favors, it would appear, especially with today's news about, I was reading about the L being closed for, was it 14 months, 16 months, to fix the Sandy storm damage to the tunnel. That's going to be a real long haul. And then they're talking about like closing down 14th Street to be buses only. It is going to make the city super weird. This is going to make it super weird. And I mean, so many extra buses. I mean, can you imagine getting anywhere in the city on a bus already just is the worst. And I have friends who live outside of the city in New Jersey, and they take the bus in, and then sometimes that takes forever just because of the travel to get into the city is so congested. And I mean, that's one of the reasons I could never live in New Jersey, is because getting into the city, if you have to work in the city, is just an unforgivable nightmare. But especially if you're going to be on a bus going in the city and it doesn't have a bathroom on it, forget it. Not that I am in love with bus bathrooms, but that option needs to be there, otherwise I'm not getting on that bus. I can remember my coworkers when we were in Korea, I didn't do this, but they had to go on a 4-hour or longer bus ride with no bathroom. And they also had an unwanted tour guide who was booked without their knowledge, who talked through the speakers the entire time, telling them interesting cultural tidbits for 6 hours. That super duper sucked for them. But I would have just ended up paying for a ticket on the train instead of taking the bus, because I would prefer to have a bathroom nearby. And that is going to be the title of my autobiography. I would prefer there was a bathroom nearby. The Luis Fernandez story. All right. Well, my mandatory car sitting prison time is over. So thank you all for tuning in and watching. I'm going to take the rest of my cupcakes home and eat them and feel bad about myself because it's my birthday and it's what I want to do. This is it here, crying with my cupcake. All right. We'll see you later, everybody. My birthday peaked here. I sincerely hope that you are wrong because that is a bummer. All right. I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye. Boop.